Okay, I want to explain why this patch doesn't affect me, but it affects the casual player. There is so much, and this is probably my fault for not making this clear. There is so much misunderstanding in the community. I mean, for the fact that a lot of people, for example, are saying only spinning merchants complain about those changes, only those, the rest will be happy. Do people not understand? Is they're not even using R1 dribbling, they're using left stick dribbling. So all these people that keep saying, oh, people are dribbling left, right, for example, what Jason said as well, is they don't understand is that it's not even R1 dribbling, it's left stick dribbling. So if people thought that this fidget spinning and running and rotating around in circles is R1 dribbling, and they're been saying nerf R1 dribbling, they could be technically all been saying nerf R1 dribbling when that's not the right mechanic. It's like trying to say nerf a slide tackle when a normal stand tackle is a problem. So this is the big problem. And this is such a common issue. You know, a lot of people, they just don't understand the difference between R1 dribbling and left stick dribbling. And when I made this video early on today, I was talking about the issues and I said what was clear, what EA should have done, which would have been the logical thing, is you don't do a double nerf. If you're gonna, and everyone agrees, and people don't understand, I agree with the jockey buff. I said in day one there needs to be a jockey buff. I said this. Kickoff, of course I want it to improve. Why would I not want it to be nerfed? Kickoff, I want it to be removed from the game. I even mentioned that. But what I was trying to say above everything is that they've buffed jockey. So what they've done is they've basically countered R1 dribbling by having jockey being buffed, okay? So what you can argue now is that's fine. Let it be, see how it is, and then next patch, if they, or live tuning update, they can make changes after. So let's say R1 dribbling, which I still think in some areas it can be adjusted. Let's say without this buff, then they can be like, okay, you know what, jockey's improved. Maybe we don't need to nerf R1 dribbling. What they've done is they've nerfed both R1 dribbling and they've increased the jockey. So they basically double nerfed R1 dribbling. Now, what people don't understand is I don't use R1 dribbling. Like, this does not actually impact me at all. Obviously, when I'm recording a tutorial and sometimes I show you using R1 dribbling, but I don't use, you guys know me the way that I play. I don't mechanic abuse. I don't even cross the ball. I don't even shoot outside the box. I don't score headers. I just have the most basic gameplay, because why I do it is so you, the user, can watch my gameplay and you can be like, you know what, Neil does the basic stuff. I can just emulate it very easily. So R1 dribbling, it does not even affect me. But you know who it does affect? It affects the casual player. Now, how do I know this? Okay, I've got an account in every single division. Okay, from Division 10 to Division 1, and this is my job. That's why it's not because I'm just sweat. I'm not smurfing for no reason. I have these accounts in different divisions. Most of the time, 99% of the time, I give the games away. So when I'm winning, I just deliberately concede. So I stay in that division and give the opponent the win, because I test gameplay out. And what a lot of casual players are doing, who maybe are not so good at the game, that struggle to break down Park the Bus, is they use R1 dribbling. So if anything, nerfing R1 dribbling is making it worse for the casual player. For people like me, it's not going to make a difference, because I'm going to still use my left stick dribbling. For the pro players, they're going to be still doing their first time shots. They're going to be still doing their fidget spinning and super cancels. It's not going to affect them. It's only affecting then the casual players. So now you could argue it's worse for a casual player than it is for the better players. I think this I'm trying to say is such a big misunderstanding. And what I was saying above everything, right? If people are talking about the wrong one, and what I meant is R1 dribbling is used inside the box, especially by casual players who need to break down AI defense. Now, when you buff jockeying, which was fine and was the correct thing to do, they had to make some changes. So I talked about this briefly. On my channel. I made a tweet about this. And again, I just spoke facts. Look, I don't have a desire to be hated by the community, but I feel like I have to honestly speak my mind. And if I don't say it, the way I look at it is, who else is going to say it? At the end of the day, I'm not here to win a popularity contest. I don't need to allow people to like me in this community like other content creators do. I could just say as it is. And you guys know I'm going to say as it is. But what I was trying to say is, this game will now promote people, because look, they didn't touch the defensive line. Okay, so they didn't buff AI attack. If they buffed AI attack and had jockey, you have a counter for a counter, it would have been good. Or if they increased the defensive width, then buffing that would be my choice. Increasing the defensive width, your defensive width naturally, so your defense are more far apart, not amazingly, but just a tiny bit enough. But the manual jockey then rewards you for defending manually. That would have been perfect. But because they didn't do that, they went down a complete different path. So they didn't buff AI, attacking AI, which they should have done. They didn't nerf defensive AI. They didn't buff manual defending. So now, even myself, as I said, I'm an aggressive defender. I was talking about this in the video. I was explaining I'm an aggressive defender. When I'm recording a tutorial, of course, I don't aggressively defend because I want to learn without, of course, seeing, like, because on the higher level using teammate contain is quite hard. Of course, I always mention this: learn how to defend, learn how to walk first before you can start running. But the point I was trying to make is the game is promoting a passive playstyle. What do you think is going to happen in a few weeks' time? And I can tell you, I've already played, like, I would say about 15 games so far today, right? And I can tell you, watch when it becomes going down the wing and crossing the ball. This is going to be the meta, and I'm calling it now. It will be going down the wing and crossing the ball. You know why? Because that's a very effective way of scoring. Now, because it's hard to go inside the box, we're going to have that. Because we've got no Travellas, and Travellas shouldn't exist in the game. But we have this wing, going down the wing, crossing the ball. Wait till the community to know about it, okay? First time through balls. It's very OP. I told EA they should have patched it. They have not patched it yet. So before anyone says, oh no, are you part of this gameplay design council? I'll just make it clear. I've told them this. I've showed them examples. For some reason, they haven't done it yet, or maybe they're doing it, or they can't find it. I don't know what the solution problem is. And then, for example, the first time shot spam. Now, all this will come. And what you're seeing now is, you know what you're seeing more and more? I went on one of my accounts here, Division 7, Division 6, I think it is, and I can't remember. One of my accounts, okay? All I saw, people parking a bus, and then just, because defending is now easier, running around with teammate contain, running back with one CDM, teammate contain with the other person, counter-attacking and spamming through balls. So for the casual player who already struggles to concede goals, and concedes goals because of through balls, they just made it worse. So when I say, when I go in and say about this patch, a lot of people think that I'm complaining this and that. You don't understand. I want the most basic gameplay. I want this to be good game for every single person. But it's not the case. And that's trying to say, look, what they should have done, the smart thing to do would have been, the real smart thing. Oh yeah, by the way, Mario Keeler, 20,000 coins. But I was saying, look, what they should have done is they should have just done the jockey stuff, and that's it. The kickoff and all that. Do the major stuff. I don't think anyone is disputing that. And maybe they could have, like in the improved, and that's not the issue. Just leave R1 dribbling, or they could have increased defensive width. Why couldn't they just do this in steps? Why couldn't they just do one little patch, see how it is, how the community reacts, and then do it? When this game started, they had to. I've always said, for them to do defending properly, they have to nerf defensive AI completely, and they did that. They didn't do it completely, but they kind of did a bit of free for all. So people who weren't good at the game, they got a reality check. When I came in and said you're not good at the game, they got a reality check. Unlike all these other creators probably started saying, oh, don't worry, it's going to be fine. They weren't elite division players, like Division 5 players. Then they were struggling, but then they got better at the game. You know what I'm talking about? You might be watching this right now. You probably know you got better at the game. But they had to go one extreme to then bring it back. What they've done is they've gone to one extreme, getting rid of AI, defense AI almost, making defending hard. Then they've gone to the complete opposite side. So that's the issue. So as I said, when I come back to this, there was the correct way of doing this patch. In my opinion, you ask my honest opinion, they've gone about it completely the wrong way. And you know, they said, for example, in the Discord, they have feedback, and everyone gives feedback in the Discord. And I've got no issue with everyone giving feedback. I think people, when I say they should take feedback from the correct people, I think people misunderstand what I'm saying. I think you should take everyone's opinions into account. But like I always give this example, you don't ask a random person on the street about brain surgery. Everyone goes to me, oh yeah, but no, it's not the same thing. I know it's not the same thing. But there's only some people that actually understand the game. Half people, sorry, 99% of the community don't even know what's good about the game. If they are winning, they think the game is good. This is just truth, unfortunately. It's just the way it is. So they could have gone about it different. I don't know why. They should have gone about it differently. Now they're just going to make the game worse. And you're not going to see it now. You're going to see it. I'll say 2-3 weeks in. We will sit here again. Maybe you'll laugh at me now, but you won't be laughing in a few weeks' time, in a few months' time, unless they do some sort of live tuning update or whatever. It won't be a laughing matter. And then you'll be like, you know what? People like me that be on that, as that I said, I was being maybe I was a bit too honest about this. This is the reason. So this is what I'm trying to say. Like, you know, a lot. And if I go back, for example, to a lot of these comments, right? I think people don't understand. I understand in some ways the patch is good for jockeying, and that is where I agree it's good. I think that's some people are kind of like, for example, this individual here might say, for example, he wasn't the best player in the world, and that's fine. I mean, people can say the patch is good. I mean, there's no you can disagree with me. This is not I'm not Stalin or something. You can disagree with me, but the point I was trying to say is they're gonna make defense too overpowered. Okay, they're gonna make people that are camping. And as you can see, for example, people are talking about this, this spinning and all this. Like, I'm not even crying. As I said, it doesn't affect me, but it's just going to be worse. Now, I understand people are saying they don't want like 5,000 goals per matches. Most of those goals were due to kickoff. Most of the time, if you look on the pro scene, like it was like some goes like 15, 14. That's pro level. The average player is not going to face that. If you're conceding 15 goals in Division 8, it's because you're not good at the game. Okay, at pro level, that's a mechanic abusing. Okay, it's a complete different level. Most of those goals because of kickoff. Kickoff was a mess this year. We'll get on to that another day. But for example, like here, this fidget spinner and everything, I think people have got the wrong end of the stick. So can you imagine? People have been probably saying in the Discord that R1 dribbling is the issue when it wasn't even R1 dribbling in the first place. It was left stick dribbling, the spinning around and cancelling, which I like left dribbling as it is. But it's spinning around and cancelling, I agree. That's where the issue is. And they've got to make that change. But this is the point I'm trying to say. That means that everyone, not say everyone, but most people are probably given the wrong advice. Like, this is... I don't know. What do I say? That's my opinion anyway. I don't know, man. I feel like it's my job to educate as much as I can the community, but I feel like someone has to be honest here, and I'd rather it be me than any other creators. Because like at the end of the day, like I run a business. At the end of the day, my job is to make you improve. It's not to be liked or to get a thumbs up or a subscriber. That's not my way. But anyway, let's have, actually I've not read this. Oh, he hasn't replied yet. I was gonna wonder, but it is what it is. Hopefully now you understand what the point I was making. But yeah, if you are watching this, please just be a bit more, I would say, progressive in your patches. Don't double nerf things. Let something go out. Even if you're prepared for it, let it go out and then adjust it after. But why did they touch it? I honestly don't know.